Welcome back to Why Are We Here Studios. Today we're going to be talking about fixing a render error inside Davinci Resolve 17 when you're rendering Fusion graphics or Fusion rich video clips. So this one I'm working on here is one clip with lots of masking keyframed, and as you can see from both the caption words on the screen as well as screen captures, I've tried to render this a couple of times and it keeps giving me an error message saying that it could not process the clip. So what I did was looked around on the internet quite a bit, and from what I know about masking and Fusion clips and stuff, I'm pretty sure the reason there's a problem is because of the complicated layers of 9 nodes, and each one of them is actually lasts from the beginning to the end of the entire clip, but the masks are keyframed to fade in and out, kind of like they are in this actual video, so that you can only read one at a time at specific times. So they fade in and out, and I think it's probably because my computer is so subpar. It basically doesn't have enough power to keep up with all of it at the same time, and so when it runs into a snag, it just stops the render. I saw some videos where people were saying basically that all you have to do is go to the settings that say to stop the render when it can't process something, but that in and of itself, I'm pretty sure won't fix it. So there's really only 2 things you have to make sure that you do. You need to go into the delivery settings and set it to use render cached images, and bypass when able. And once you've told it to use rendered cached images, really the only thing else that you got to do is you go to your playback settings, and in the render cache you want to change it to user, so that you can decide which clips you want to use render cache for. Like in this example, for me there's only one clip, so it really wouldn't have mattered which I picked, but in general, if you set it to user, then you have to right click on the clip and tell it to render cache, and then you have to wait on it to render cache that whole clip. Once it has render cached whatever clip you're having trouble with, or all of them if you're not sure, and if you do smart instead of user, it'll just render cache everything eventually, but it'll go from whatever priority it decides. So once you've changed render cache to user, and once you've told it to render the clip that you're having trouble with, and once you've told delivery settings to use render cache images, it will then use the render cache as what it renders from, and since it's already rendered, there isn't a problem with it. And it's really pretty much that simple. So if you have your render cache set to off or smart, then you can't guarantee it's going to render the clip you need it to, and that's why I set it to user, because I don't want it to just render cache everything. I'm pretty sure that using it, having the render cache be what it renders from, will actually speed up everything, because that way it's basically rendering while you're working. So you're actually doing some of the end rendering during your edit, if you tell it to use render cache images, and that's in the advanced settings of the delivery tab. And that's pretty much it. This clip is basically, this video is one whole Fusion clip with a bunch of mask keyframes, like I said. So once I saw that it had finished render caching that, and I told it to render cache, it completed, like, it was actually faster than it would have been if it had just rendered with no errors. So that pretty much solves the problem, as long as we're talking about this kind of problem. I guess there are other ways it could be having errors that this may not fix, but at least try this first. And if this is interesting, leave a comment. I'll do more of these. And if you made it all the way to the end, then you're my hero. Until next time, this side or the other.